Okay, got the Civ from Eery, got the Civ from OptimalAcorn. Oh, I love this matchup. Let's invite these players. Just getting Optimal added on my friends list. Thank you for posting the brackets there. Oh, and you know what? Maybe what we can do while we're setting this up as well, because we did just finish our first series, right? So maybe let's do a... You guys want to do a raffle? For an Axe of the Ice King? Let's do that. So, once again, guys, if you missed the intro, so a huge thank you to Andy Pearson, PF2K, and the whole Project Celeste gang. They have donated 7 Axe of the Ice Kings. So, any PvP players in here, or PvP players that just want to look badass, with your units that can equip a great axe. So this is a discontinued item. I don't believe you can get it in the game anymore. It's from last year's winter event. There's a winter event this year, which we'll love to talk about a little bit later, but this is an item from last year's winter event, legendary item. My understanding is it's the most valuable item in the game right now. Oh, sorry, the raffle hasn't, I need to actually manually start it. So everybody that's typed in, hold your horses. I'm gonna start this giveaway right now. There you go. So now type in raffle and you'll join. Yeah, I see everybody starting to join now as well. So we're gonna keep this raffle open for a little bit while we set up our next game. Psychosaurus, thank you for the follow. And thank you, Zeniger. I don't know how to say your name. Thank you for the follow. Why don't I see OptimalAcorn on here? Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. Oh, there he is. Okay. Just gonna quick log out and log back in. Oh, why did it stop? I didn't put a timer. Oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally put a timer on for 1 minute. I did not mean to do that, you guys. I'm gonna reset this. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to have that timer on. So guys, we're gonna start the raffle over, and I just disabled the timer. So enter again. If you entered, enter again. I'm so sorry about that. I messed that up. There's no timer now, so we're just gonna leave this open for a little bit. So re-enter if you didn't, if you already entered. Sorry about that. And we're just gonna get our next series set up here, folks. There we go. Now I see. All right, there's Optimal. We got him in the party, and there's Eery Mule. So, guys, we're going to have Celt versus Greek. I love this matchup. Love this matchup. We are going to get a quick connection test going super quick. Just make sure that we can join, and then we'll get into this in just a moment. And also, I keep forgetting, we're going to get the guest caster in here. So guys, we are gonna get Star of Night on the line to help co-cast this game. Oh, which means I should have had you in on the connection test here. My bad, my bad. Star, I'm gonna call you, okay? I'm gonna call you rather than use the Discord room. So give me 1 second and I'll invite you. I'm gonna invite you to the game first. Raffle's still going, guys. We're going to run this for a little bit longer. Empire's FSB, thank you so much for the follow. All right, we got Star of Night in here, so quick connection test. Raffle is still open for the Axe of the Ice King. By the way, the Ice King like unit in game is like one of the coolest things I've seen. I love the unit. All right, there we go. Successful connection test. You love to see it. And finally, I'm going to call up Star of Night, and we're going to get Star of Night on the line, and then we are going to go ahead and get into our second series, guys. So let's ring Mr. Knight. Yo,
hello, sir.
Star, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hey, what's up, my man? How it goes?
Goes well. I am excited. That first game was epic.
Zerdan's a beast. Zerdan is a beast. Chat, really quick before we get started, can you hear Star of Night okay? And like, are the audio levels all right? We're doing a little bit of audio on the fly. Okay, cool. Oh, and let me put up, I'll put up the Star of Night co-caster thing as well. Sorry, I'm slow.
No.
I wish I had like a team.
You are a one-man team, Steve. do you need anybody else?
Oh,
everybody in the chat saying how good the overlays are. Incredible. Good stuff.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I try to keep it simple because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm no PF2K. PF2K is like the graphic designer extraordinaire. All right. Before we start, I'm gonna pick a winner, guys. So you have like 10 more seconds to enter the raffle. And I am going to close the raffle. Oh, Eery just getting it in there. All right, I'm closing the raffle. You guys ready for a winner? Here we go. Oh, the name I couldn't pronounce. Incognito Mail. Are you around?
It was like incognito mail, but like...
Oh my god, incognito mail. I'm an idiot. Okay, good call. Good call.
But like spelled really strange.
Incognito mail. Oh my god. What did I say? I don't even want to know. Incognito, whatever. Send me your in-game name so I can write it down and I'll mail you this later.
Yeah. The Ace is saying it's rigged. Is it for followers only over here?
Yeah, it's for followers only.
Exactly, Ace. This is it. You gotta follow.
I forgot about that. I should have said that though. Incognito, just quick send me your name and then we'll get started. Thorley, thank you for the follow. Okay, cool. Rob Rock. I will mail this to you later. All right, Star. We ready to go, man?
I'm excited. Eery and OptimalAcorn.
So Eery is a monster.
Honestly, and depending on the civ he chooses, if he's going to continue going with help there, well, that's going to be a crazy spearman rush in the beginning.
Just waiting for Eery to just give me the thumbs up, and then we'll do this thing. But yeah, I've been watching Eery play lately on his stream and other people's streams, and the guy is just a monster. I'm so impressed with the play. Like Eery, you know, been around right in the OG game as well. Yeah. And was always good, right? Always Incision, thanks for the follow. Oh, is that the Incision, by the way? But God, lately he's a monster.
Yeah.
Super
and
impressed.
Like he quickly transitions from Spearman into like Age 3 World Raider spam. So like I'm interested to see if OptimalAcorn is able to actually make him change his preferred method of play, or BM method of play, into something much more serious.
All right, guys, it is game number 1 of our second series of this holiday invitational. This is going to be an incredible series. Our first player in yellow on the west side of Oasis, another small, lush, love the very green, beautiful Oasis. Playing Celt, great for a small map. This is Eery.
Eery knows what he's doing. He's not fooling around.
Oh, he is not fooling around. On the east side, already putting up a barracks in a lovely purple color. It looks really good on the Greek buildings. Another OG from back in the day. This is OptimalAcorn.
Yeah, and he looks like he should be up at the same time as Eery, so as long as he makes sure to continue to build Spearman and not be overwhelmed by Eerie's just like massive ball Spearman, he should be able to sustain here.
So, Star, if you're playing on the ladder and you get a Celt opponent, are you just like blind to building a barracks? Just because,
if it's Eery, yes.
Well, yeah, true.
but if it's not Eery, then I always recommend scouting. Like, don't if you can be greedy, be greedy, right? Because that's always the best course of action, to be greedy. But if you see the barracks going up, then you have to get it ready. Ideally, you scout a little bit around your base, get the hunt, kill your hunt, and then send your scout over just in time so that when you have the decision point between either putting down your barracks or making a storehouse on your actual wood, you can make the decision at that point. That's what I usually try to do.
And that would be much, much smarter. If you can get away with being greedy, even better. God, these Greek spearmen look amazing. I'm impressed with all the vanity gear today. And yeah, you're right. Celt Spearmen coming across the map. Great scouting by OptimalAcorn. He knew immediately that those Celt Spearmen are coming out, so no surprises for him. And Hunt looks pretty well protected. Woodline maybe is at risk. It looks like it's a little bit out of TC range. We'll see if Eery gets over there, but yeah, really good scouting. Had the scout follow those Spearmen the whole way.
Yep, and Eery knows it, and he's pulling away.
And guys, I got one thing about Eery Mule while we're waiting for some action. I imagine, RTS fans in here, there's a lot of StarCraft crossover, right? If you guys are familiar with StarCraft and Ranked Ladder. Eery is a Grandmaster in StarCraft. He's a Grandmaster Terran. And if you're not a StarCraft player and don't know what that means, that is like an incredible feat. Like that is a gaming god moment. Like Grandmaster, I think it's like top 100 on the server, I think, right? Something like that. It's like the top of the top. And he plays on the EU server, which is like an incredibly competitive server. So and we have lots of Masters players in this tournament as well, which is also no joke. I think that's top 2%. But to be a Grandmaster in StarCraft, like Eery is crazy good. We do have a pause. Right as Eery Mule is going to come into the wood line of OptimalAcorn.
I was about to say, like, Optimal is out of position right here with his Spearman on his hunt, rightfully protecting it. But yeah, that's going to be a very exposed wood line coming soon. But the wolves are coming to clutch for OptimalAcorn.
I love the wolves. And you know what? Celt Spearmen don't have that much health to begin with, so these wolf bites are non-trivial.
Yeah, I think Optimal can't get much more unless he starts going on gold right now, which he is actually. So that's interesting. And Eery's going to switch on to stone. So looks like Eery's just going to be pulling ahead on this one for at least the beginning.
Got to talk about the storehouse placement too, guys. Remember, flush with the resource and back one space. None of this crooked stuff. And here come the Spearmen into the woodline of OptimalAcorn. He is not quite ready for this. We'll see how many villagers he can pick off. There goes one, and that's probably all he's going to do. Very sensitive, the Celt Spearman under Town Center Fire. Not a lot of health or armor.
And look at it. He's just continuing to pump out Spearmen. He's not stopping.
And he's also splitting up his units. Down below, you see a small group of Spearmen breaking off from the main force. And Eery, like, being just an RTS beast, like, I would love if we had a way to, like, cut to his first-person vision, like, just to see how fast that he's playing with these different groups of Celt Spearmen. Like, that would be cool to watch. I think Optimal's okay here.
Optimal, he's going to H2, which is necessary against these Spearmen, right? Get the high pacifist, but because he's not gathering the stone, he'll be economically behind, but he'll have the advantage of H2 units. So we'll see if he can come back from that.
That's a good call. And meanwhile, Eery hasn't even clicked up. I think he's about to as soon as he hits 300 food here. There he goes. So yeah, you're totally right. I think there is going to be a little bit of a window, and we do see the first Hippaspis come out already. He can get a Hippaspis out, maybe a Tox if he gets up a range, and he'll be able to defend this for a couple of minutes. Yeah,
13 Spearmen though against the 6 units, 2 Hippaspis. Eery's still up 2 villagers though right now, and that is partially due to the fact that Optimal aged up a little bit sooner, but it's not looking good from an econ perspective for Optimal right now. And he's on the water.
Oh, they're both actually on the water. And let's see if they might just be out of vision. No, Optimal sees it barely. Eery,
they both see it.
Yeah, I guess like, they both see it, right?
Eery's so good. Kept that one Spearman on the water there just to make sure that he saw it.
You know, one thing I'll give credit for OptimalAcorn here. He aged up so fast and still defended this Spearman rush with very minimal losses, right? But he didn't have to make a ton of Spearmen, which is really good. Like when you're Greek, in Spearmen are useless in H2, right? Because there's no cav units for Celt until the Horsemen in H3. So really any Spearman waste or any Spearman created just beyond being able to defend that first initial rush is kind of a waste, you know? You don't get a lot of value out of them. Like they're not a good counter unit against anything. So good on Optimal. He was able to age up so fast and pretty much start immediately pushing out Hippaspis. And now he's got this like nice little push, right? Like he's able to come across the water. Like I wonder if he's going to fight under this.
Oh, and interesting choice by Eery to go with the fishing boat instead of the swan ship. But,
and the swan ship is coming out, but yeah, you're totally right. The trireme is going to come out first for Optimal, and this is huge. We talked about this a little bit last game. Like, watch the health of these Celt units. Like, the ships do so much damage to ground units and splash.
And I don't believe, Spearmen have no pierce armor at all, so they soak up all that damage.
And this is pretty exciting. You don't see this a lot on Oasis. We have a sweet, like a huge land battle going on, as well as a ship battle all underneath each other. This is pretty cool. Optimal with a pretty big advantage though. He's got 2 triremes out. There is a second swan ship on the way for Eery, but it's a while away. It's not going to be turned for a minute.
It's incredible how much of an importance that getting that first swan ship out before the trireme out before the swan ship was. Now they're fighting evenly, even though Eery had a much larger land army.
Not to mention, fishing boats aren't cheap at this point of the game, right? They're 100 wood. Like that's half of a production facility, you know? Like that's a lot to invest.
This small little pond is going to be filled with swan ships soon. No micro allowed because it's just going to be right next to each other.
Wow, I would be pretty brutal if this was like Age 2, where like the bodies of the dead units stayed on the field for a while, because this Oasis would be filled with blood right now. This is a dangerous battleground. And even the Hippaspis getting in on the action. When's the last time you saw Hippaspis attack a swan ship, Star?
Not in a long time. This is the largest Oasis battle I've ever actually.
I think this is the same for me. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen so many boats built on Oasis before in all the games I've ever played. I think that's gonna do it though, right? Like Optimal on the water.
That first trireme, man, I think that really came clutch, and he's making his second town center in a really ballsy spot. So should be able to be protected by his swan ships, or triremes. So that's good.
And this is pretty significant for a few reasons. Like obviously he wins the water, which is great if he can start pushing out fishing boats soon, and get a nice food economic advantage there. He also has these 3 triremes, which are all at full health basically, which is like he's got the whole middle and like kind of like half of this map, right? If he pushes the triremes to the very edges, he's got like a huge chunk of this map locked down. Like a land army won't walk through it. And he won, like, Eery, you know, he obviously invested a lot in these triremes, but he kept them, right? He only lost 1 or 2. Eery invested in a dock, 150 wood, a fishing boat, 100 wood, and at least 2 swan ships, right?
Yes.
And I think those are extra expensive. 200 wood, I think? 250? So that's like Eery, and for what, right? Pretty much nothing. Like Eery got that was a rough trade in terms of just like raw resources for Eery Mule. So good on Optimal.
Swung the game completely.
Yeah.
Right now, actually, despite having the second TC up before Optimal, he actually has more villagers.
Wow.
Optimal has more villagers, which is incredible. So
I
think he might have been expecting to go on the water after that first push and using fishing boats to help supplement his villager production, but he was unable to do that. Which is great. Optimal's taking the score lead, and he's doing well.
Good call on the forward town center for Optimal, too. Like, Eery was forced to build his in a super defensive position, right? Like, this isn't gaining any ground for him. It's just in the back of his base. Meanwhile, Optimal securing a stone, securing a gold, berries. He's got a hunt right next to it. And, you know, like you mentioned, he's pretty safe there with 3 triremes defending that town center. So great, like, map control and position for Optimal right now. Also a pretty big pop lead. Look at that, 85 to 66, 42 villagers for Optical, 37 for Eery. So I'm you know, I low-key thought that no matter who Eery was going to get matched up against, he was just going to roll them. Like, he's just been looking so good.
Yes, agreed.
But well, look at this. Like, he's on the back foot for sure right now. Like, pretty significantly, I'd say.
He loves these like drive-bys. It's pretty incredible. He just goes by. Okay, cool. Look at that. Lots of archer ranges producing from them. Okay, a few barracks. Good to know. And then just leaving.
And he could do that all day, I guess, as Kel, 7 speed, right? So he's in and out. He didn't even lose anything. Although one of those longswordsmen is very, very low. He needs the touch of a druid. Meanwhile, Optimal Acorn moving out with a small army here. I think he's going to need to be careful not to overextend. Like, Age 2 Greek units are just like savagely good, right? So good. But you need a bit more than this, I think. Like, he doesn't have that many talks, only 7 talks. And he's got to be careful because there's as many slingers as there are talks, and they kill talks really, really quickly. But he's able to pull back to the safety of his, like, the biggest Oasis navy we've ever seen here.
And this army is getting formidable, as you were mentioning, though. But you're right. Both players spending the resources really well. I'm expecting good things. I will say, though, that I'd like for Optimal Acorn to stop producing the talks and build maybe another production facility rather than like having such a large queue.
Forward armory for Optimal. BM. I love
Actually,
it.
There's a raid happening in the back of
good call.
Right,
wow, very nice pickup here from Eery, and he has to do stuff right like this, right? Like, he's got to look for ways to get ahead, or to even the gap, rather. So let's see where we're at. We're at 52 villagers for Optimal Acorn and 50 for Eery. So he's just about caught up on macro, so that was a really nice raid. It's also getting away with murder down here in the south on this gold mine. But meanwhile, Optimal Acorn is just going to march right into the base of Eery Mule. And he's up to, let's see, 24 passes, 19 talks. So that's a nice talks ball. He just like found Eery's army out of position. But this is a pretty significant army for Eery as well. And let's see how well he does in the Slinger micro. It all comes down to the Slingo micro here and killing as many talks in this fight as possible.
Oh, the druids might help a lot too. Yeah. Oh, man.
Wow,
Eery
look,
taking a great engagement.
Great micro, down to 8 talks and even fewer as he walks away. And you're right, yeah, druids are so good, especially in a defensive scenario. They're kind of not a liability, but you can see they slow down the entire army when you select and move everybody, because the army moves at the speed of the slowest unit, which in this case is the druid. So on offense, they're not quite as mobile. Like, you lose a bit of the advantage that Kelt has with the super fast units, right? But on defense, like in that scenario, druids are worth all the gold in the world, right? With the healing and attack boost.
Eery's charting the same path, this route to the back of Optimal's base, and I like to see Optimal place some watchtowers, get some vision on that side of the map, because he knows he's not going to challenge him in the middle with all the triremes there.
He is coming across 9 villagers at the top here, the 1 gold, although also like a huge push in the front of his base as well.
Yeah, but the value of those 8 villagers or 9 villagers is a lot more than just, a single production facility right now.
That's right. Yeah, they're desperate for gold right now. That's a huge pickup, and it doesn't look like he's coming back to the base either. He's just going to go right into the wood line,
no.
and there are so many exposed villagers. But is he going to be able to defend at home? This is a scary Greek push at his doorstep. And yeah, he's not coming back.
Oh no. Oh no, this is 40 something, 30 villagers running away right now.
Oof. And he needs to do this because even despite the losses here, he's down about 10 villagers, but he is causing so much lost gathering time. 25 idle villagers over here running away, another 7 villagers running away. All of these villagers are idle, so he basically has no gathering villagers right now, even if he lives through this, which it looks like he will. But 61 villagers to 56, so Eery is closing the gap.
Oh man,
That he needed that. I think, I was a little worried about not coming home to defend that, but I think that's the right call in hindsight. Like he's got to do stuff like this to try to close that huge lead that Eery got early that Optimal got early by taking the water. However,
I think he.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
why is he not rallying his units back? He's gotta use them.
Yeah, he must be. He's maybe panicking a little bit here. Eery's starting to pick him apart. Like, it's just there's so much going on in Age, right? Like, even more so than StarCraft. Like, economy management is like so much more high touch. Unit management and countering in the micro, and there's just like so much you could be doing at any given time. So when Eery does stuff like this, and this is like where Celt shines, right? Like any mobile Civ or Cav, like even if you don't do a lot of damage, like you don't actually kill things, like just raiding and forcing your opponent to respond rather than focus on their macro, right? So like Eery, for the cost of a couple units, which he probably wrote off, like he's able to disrupt Optimal's economy, right? Optimal's not looking at his army. He's not producing villagers. He's dropping Q. Maybe he starts an armory upgrade late. And meanwhile, like, look at Eery's coming right on top of the triremes, and you might actually kill the Navy in the middle.
Oh man, is he gonna make more? No, he's not, but he's getting some good pot shots off. So he has whittled down this army a little bit, which might give him enough time to start making lots more production facilities. Neither of them in H3, but Optimal needed to focus on his economy there for a little bit. So hopefully those triremes have bought him a bit more time.
No armory upgrades from either player, by the way. There is an armory for Acorn that he built a while ago, but he has not produced from it. The other thing that I was going to say before Eery's big raid was that, note that while Optimal held the water for a while, and obviously he had great map control from it, he never fished. So no fishing boats were produced, so he actually did not get an economic advantage from that. And look at this. Like, I don't know if he'll be able to get away with it, but Eery actually decided to come forward and try to get on the water, but obviously he's pushed back. This is actually very scary. 32 talks in this army, but this is a big old slinger ball.
And the meat shield of Optimals is disappearing fast without pierce armor, without that additional pierce armor.
I want to know where are the Seri? Like, their Seri are so absent right now. Like, this is a big slinger ball with druids, right? So 40 slingers, and the second oh, there we go. Finally, pierce armor or pierce attack is on the way for Optical. Huge upgrade for Greek.
And to your point, Series as well. Coming.
Oh, excellent.
The cavalry is coming.
Excellent. Okay, I was going to say, like, this Greek or this Celt army, like, this is old school Greek versus Celt. This is how we played it internally normally. Like a huge slinger ball from the Celt player and just kiting all day, right? And you just have to have Seri to respond to that.
These are some great pot shots.
45 talks. Let's see how well Eery is able to micro these slingers. He's got a slinger tag.
All of the infantry just disappeared.
Yeah, there's really no meat shield for either side. And this just talks on slingers. This is actually pretty crazy. Talks do crazy high DPS, but obviously slingers hard counter talks so hard, right? And he is down to 30 talks. He lost quite a bit there. No anti-cav out for Eery, though, so these Seri are just going to come in and do whatever they want. Like, there's no spearmen being produced. Actually, Eery finally has some spearmen in queue. That's a good transition.
But with this Ox ball, like, the spearmen are just going to disappear. So it's got to be good micro from Eery.
OptimalAcorn, I also want to point out his Pierce Resist upgrade, armory upgrade, is almost complete, about 25% left. That is going to be significant against Eery's army, because these are two armies that are like entirely Pierce attack, right? So you need the attack and resist. Eery, though, does have Pierce attack on the way, so they're going to be even in armory upgrades.
Yeah, they both know exactly what game they're playing. It's big ball of talks versus a big ball of slingers.
A lot of pierce attack in these two armies. Eery, I also want to point out, took a significant villager lead, 86 villagers to the 71 of OptimalAcorn.
Oh, wow.
What a swing! Like Optimal, I think Optimal like at a huge amount of control over this game early, but Eery has just been relentless.
And here we go, the same path from Eery that he's charted time and time again, coming in again. But I think Optimal bringing his whole units back is gonna shut this down really nicely.
And I don't want to say I told you so, Star, but Eery is not told you so, but just in general, Eery, look what he's doing. He's breaking my #1 rule. He had this big, nice army, right? He's halfway through age 3.
Yep.
Stay at home a couple, another minute or two. Get your champion upgrades when you hit age 3. Start those armory upgrades. Like, you just lost a significant amount of your army for, I don't think, very good value. Like I would have rather see him hold on to that and have it be significantly stronger, because he's also beating Optimal to age 3. Optimal hasn't even clicked up yet. He could have had the same size army with a crazy, full age worth of tech advantage.
Actually, I think this is the perfect time for Optimal to push in. He has a much larger army because he doesn't have that same villager lead as Eery, and he just killed most of Eery's army. This is it.
True.
Optimal has a chance. It's right now.
And he has so many talks, but they're falling so fast. These swan ship shots are absolutely huge, and Eery is doing some crazy slinger micro. Like, I had 50 talks selected, and he's already down to 20. Like, the cost efficiency of this engagement is crazy. These shots from the swan ship, I think, just saved him. And he might even still be forced back, but that went so efficiently for Eery.
Well played by Eery. That was it. He defended the push,
and he had to too, because all of his gold income is on this mine right here, like at the front of the fight. So Optimal is actually going to clean up the water, maybe. Actually, maybe not. Wow. This is a slugfest. Like, there is oh wow, look at there.
But Eery's going to win that slugfest, right? Like, he has way more villagers, nearly 90 villagers to 73. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, huge economic advantage here. I think Optimal's starting to slip a little bit. I saw some light for him when Eery lost his army, but yeah, like you mentioned, a little bit of a lull here. Oh, Eery was trying to get away with with something he shouldn't here, building a guard tower, but fortunately Optimal with good map vision.
A lot of exposed villagers though, like on both sides of the map for Optimal, and he's like, Eery has just proven himself to be such a great raider.
Eery also, like, with this big H3 lead, like, look, he's starting to transition into the late game economy, right? This is perfect placement of your third town center. I think most of like these top PvP players, like, kind of the consensus is when you hit H3, put your third town center, set it up for your market line, right? And obviously you want the longest market line possible, so you go park your TC in the corner of the map, or like as far away from where you're going to set up your markets as possible. So he's got it way up north, and he's going to start market production. Yeah, look at the very bottom of the map. So that's about the longest market line you can get on Oasis.
Yeah, excellent. And he's transitioning to those Woad Raiders to destroy the top ball.
Awesome. Love seeing Woad Raiders. And look at the armory upgrades as well. That age 3 pierce resist is going to hurt. Like, Optimal's army isn't going to do nearly as much damage, because, again, the Seri and the Tox are pierce damage. So it's all about the pierce resist.
There you go.
So many Woads in queue. Oh, my God. Yeah, there's H3 for Optimal, but I think you're right. There's a huge window of opportunity here for Eery to push in with his high-tech units before Optimal hits H3 and has to wait for his champion upgrades to finish. Seri champion would be so nice.
And as we talked about earlier, right? Like, the triremes of Optimal were doing a great job protecting his town center, but now that he's lost the water, the swan ships just get pot shots at all of the resources in the base of Optimal too.
Look at the raids from the Woad Raiders up top while Optimal's distracted with his army down south. And oh my God, they just killed so many villagers. And Eery already has a large villager lead. It's now 100 villagers for Eery to 76. I will say though, like, he does have a villager lead, right? But 100 villagers on Oasis?
100 is too much.
I feel like it's borderline too much. Yeah, like yeah, as soon as Optimal gets that third town center and they're able to have equal, you know, they're both maxed, like it's just going to mean that Optimal's army is so much bigger.
But it won't matter because Eery is just going to pick them apart like slowly from each corner of the map with the Load Raiders. So like even if the larger army size is Optimal's, which it isn't at this point because he has an extra TC, it won't matter because the Load Raiders will pick them apart, which is excellent by Eery there.
Yeah, there's no response to the Woad Raiders. Like, look at Eery. Like, he's sacrificing his army, which I think is fine because look at how out of position he's drawn Optimal's entire army. Like, it couldn't be more out of position. He's in the back left or back right corner of the map. Meanwhile, a huge group of Woad Raiders and reinforcing bowmen are coming in and just slaughtering this. And I think we gotta point out here. I think this is a mistake by Optimal, like to build this much of your economy so far forward on Oasis. Like this is 1,200 wood worth of farms. Those have got to be back in your main base, right? They got to be safer than that. No walls or anything. The Woad Raiders came in and did way more damage than they should have been able to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. But at the same time, right? Like Eery was making it a point to go into the back of his base, and he almost had no choice but to be.
That's true. That's true. I guess that's what the crazy rating will get you. It's forced your opponent to do like kind of non-standard, you know, quick hasty decisions like that, right?
Yeah.
Eery, meanwhile, with his Road Raiders, like that, they're staying true to their name with the rating, right? Like they just went up there and denied the market, establishing a market for Optimal, which is going to become critical at this point in the game. There's really no safe gold left. This gold in his back is just about done, 400 left, and his next gold is way up here, you know? It's kind of in an unsafe spot, so we really need the markets at this point.
And he's being absolutely, all of his gold villagers are being absolutely eaten by these Road Raiders up at the top. But he's making a push. He's making a run for it into the base.
One thing I would have liked to see, and I kind of think you have to do as Greek, like obviously these Woad Raiders are doing so much damage, right? But it's also because they have free reign of the map, you know? Like I think you gotta get some walls up, you know, especially while you're out and you have map control and you can like defend your villagers, you know, and let them get some walls up undisturbed. Like, because there's no way to stop this, right? And there's really no Sim City to his base either, you know, to help with that further. So you just got to get walls up, and that's easier said than done. Like, look at how open Oasis is, right? There's not chokes like there are on Sheltered or Equal where you're not investing a ton of stone. Like it would be very expensive to wall this up, but you know, between building your base in kind of a wallish SimCity way and just making sure to prioritize building some walls, that would have significantly reduced the opportunity for those Woad Raiders, which kind of got away with murder, right? That was a lot of villagers that went down.
51 villagers from I think at one point he had 70 something, so 20 villagers in that raid.
Ooh, this flank with the Woad Raiders on the Tox. That's nasty. And we're seeing sub 100 pop with more Woad Raiders going up to the north. Yeah, and Optimal taps, and Eery takes his first game. Damn, dude.
That was great. That was a great game.
What an insane game.
That was the play of the game right there in the end with the Woad Raiders finally cleaning it up.
That was like a crazy boxing match. Like, let's have a look at the post-game stats first, but wow, I'm actually surprised by this. Look at the disparity in resources gathered by Eery. I guess I'm wondering how much of that was towards the end of the game when he was way heavy on villagers, you know? Like at the end here, he's kind of up 100 to 50. So I think maybe that, I think for most of the game, it would have been closer than that, right? Like I think most of that was at the end. Yeah,
the caravans were bringing in 150 gold each, right? So
oof, look at the villager counts. Both of them made so many villagers. But the techs... Yeah. So much armory for Eery. It was in H3 so much longer. Like Optimal kind of just got there, right? And so I don't think he's been able to afford these gold heavy H3 techs and so many more at the end of that game. Wow.
Yeah, that was a great game.
So much happened. And both of them, like I think like the pendulum of favor swung, I think both ends of the spectrum multiple times, right? Like Optimal at the very start, taking control of the water, 3 triremes, forward TC, had his map, half of the map locked down, you know? But I think that maybe the first mistake, or I guess I'd be curious to know why he chose not to do this, but he could have fished it, right? Like he held the water uncontested for many minutes, you know, 10 plus minutes. Like even just having 2-3 fishing boats out, I think could have made an enormous difference, you know?
Yeah, no, agreed. You're right. That would have helped him a lot. Get more, even series, right? Because he didn't have the food at one point to transition to series, which he definitely should have done when he saw those large units of large bowman, or not bowman count, but slinger balls.
That's a great call. Yeah, and in hindsight, I think Optimal would have benefited greatly from a Seri transition earlier, you know, and he was making a lot of Hippaspis, which like just weren't really doing anything because Eery kind of stopped building infantry for a while, right, and just focused on the slinger. So all of that food from the Hippaspis, think if all of that is invested into the stables, into Steri, it would have had a much better go. Because for a while, Eery didn't have to worry about building spearmen either, right? Because there are no Steri on the field, so he just had a big old slinger ball.
Yep, that would have been the perfect comp, at least in H2 right there. Steris and Tox versus long swordsmen and some maybe even spearmen and slingers.
Well, damn, man, that was a nutty game. That was one of the coolest games I've ever seen, for sure. And probably the most unique Oasis game I've ever seen.
Yes.
Oops. Also, I did this backwards. Sorry. I'm editing the scene in real time and it looks like ass. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. So let's bear with us here as we reset up this game and get civ changes and whatnot. Oh, these guys weren't supposed to quit yet. We were supposed to choose the map first, so let me re-invite them.
Oh, he chose equal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that. Thank you. Okay, so I have Eery Civ. I just need Optimal Civ. Let's see, did he whisper me on Discord? Yes, he did. So let's invite these players.
I think the game was a bit laggy last time, so I'll watch from the stream and cast from the stream just to make sure that the game doesn't lag for our players.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
'Cause I don't think there's too big of a delay, right?
No, a couple seconds at most. I could also share my screen on Discord. Do you think? I don't know if that would take up like too many resources though, you know.
Don't
trying to stream. Okay.
All good. If it doesn't get better, then I'll come back. But if it does get better, then I'll just, it's fine.
Okay. Sounds good. Right. And it looks like Eery needs a couple of minutes anyway. So we'll just hang tight here, guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in today.
Tell your friends, tell your family. We're at 96, almost at 100 viewers. Let's go.
Wow, that's crazy. Thank you, guys.
Get your grandmother to open up Twitch. Let's go. Let's go.
That's right. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, we are doing a little tournament for the first time in a while, a little holiday invitational. We've got 8 players. If you just tuned in, that was game 1 of our second series in the tournament. And that was a crazy game. If you just came in and missed even like the first couple minutes of that game, catch the VOD. That was one of the craziest Oasis games you'll see, I think. Very action-packed. So Eery took that one. So it's 1-0 in Eery's favor, and if we also had the first series that we've completed, we have our first semi-finalist. Zerton went up against Warlock Ant, and Zerton took that series 2-0 in pretty dominating fashion. He's looking very beastly. Whoever faces him in the semis is going to have their work cut out for him. And actually, the winner of this series... Wait, no, I don't think... Actually, I think we played this out of order, so never mind. This is actually at the bottom of the bracket. Of the semis bracket. Donations are also open today. Again, I normally don't have them open on the channel, but in this case, 100%, like you're just donating to the prize pool, right? So we're up to $475 thanks to some very generous donations from the Eery and the HPVP community, from Star of Night. Oh, thank you so much for that donation, man. That was way too generous. From Andy Pierce and from KazMX, thank you so much. If you want to contribute, which please don't feel pressured to, but if you feel like it, the Streamlabs link below may or may not work. I guess some people are having problems. I'm sorry, or just use Venmo or Cash App. There's a donate command. Oh, is that bracket command still not working? Maybe while we're waiting for Eery.
Let me bring up the bracket.
Let me have a look at it. Oh yeah, good call. I forgot. I keep forgetting I have my ugly bracket scene here. Oh, and you know what? I need to update the challenge bracket. So let's do that. 2-0.
Oh, so the winner of this is gonna face either Recon or Vahur.
Yep. So
Oh man.
there we go. We updated this, and actually I can update this as well for Eery. There we go. So this is where we're at, guys. We are looking to get through the round of 8 today, hopefully at least one semifinal match, and then tomorrow we're going to do third place and the finals as well, and you know, the other semifinal series if we don't get to it. And I guess we'll have a quick look at the prizes as well. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. And including my sweet Excel widget there. So this is the prize pool right now, 475. Those percentages, that's the split of what our first, second, and third place player will take home. So right now, a cool $238 for the winner. It's a lot of vanity gear right there.
Too bad you can't buy vanity gear with money anymore.
I don't know if that's too bad, to be honest. No one loves cosmetic microtransactions, but I'll take Empire points.
Exactly.
So thank you guys for watching. We'll do another raffle after this series. You know what? If we're waiting for Eery, give me 1 minute. Quick use the little Santa's room, and I will be right back. Oh, and we did just get another $15 from ChasmX. Thank you so much. I received good news. So $15 more. Wow. Well, congratulations on your good news. That's amazing. So, actually, then to go back really quick, we're going to change our little spreadsheet. 245 for the winner at this point. Nice. So the prize pool just keeps getting bigger. Thank you guys. That's awesome.
490. Let's go to 500.
490. It's awesome to see people still loving Age Online esports. You gotta love it. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Star Knight, you have the floor. Tell your best jokes, your life story.
Tell my best jokes.
Talk about actually shout out your Twitch channel. Tell them what you're about when you stream, and give me just like 1 second, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, old Age of Empires player back in the day. Made a video called "What Was Age of Empires Online." That was pretty fun, and I actually got to. I submitted it to a sort of like a not a giveaway, but like a raffle, I guess. And then Steve sent me back in the day a Age of Mythology game key and a poster for the video, which is pretty cool. I'm from Toronto in Canada, and I don't stream that often because, you know, full-time work. You know, you gotta somehow pay for the $150 donation. But yeah, like in Toronto playing, and then trying to make some more educational content for Age of Empires Online. So I've made a first video for beginners, 5 tips, and I'm going to make another one for more intermediate players later on. I work at a bank. Leafs fan, eagerly. I don't know if you can call it a fan, man. I don't know if you can call it a fan. I've been disappointed. The flames have been, the flames of my fanhood have been waning year after year. So I'd rather watch, I'd rather watch esports than watch the Leafs.
All right.
Let's do this.
So I think we're just waiting another moment here for Eery. Needed a quick break. I can't blame him. That was a crazy game. I need a quick break. So we'll give him a second. We'll hang out. Did you give him your life story? Do they know what you're all about, Star?
Yeah. Now Ace thinks I rob banks for a living.
We know this. Got a for any. I imagine that most people watching are probably probably know it and play Age Online. But if you don't and you'd like to, please do. I'm going to run a quick command in the chat. So this is how you get it. Go to that site. Really easy, straightforward setup. You can even install it through Steam. And then once you're in game, so like, I don't know about you, but like I love RTS. I love strategy games, but it's like RTS. I guess, I'm heavily biased, right? Because I love RTS. I think it's like by far the best genre of all time. But anyways, like playing an RTS competitively and like trying to be good is like, I think it's so hard. Like to me, I think it's like the hardest to get good at, right?
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, especially like most strategy games, but especially real time, and especially Age Online in particular. Like the other Age of Empires games are also extremely difficult for their own reasons, but Age Online is also significantly faster too. So it's just like, it's really difficult to learn. And my point being, some of the amazing changes that the Celeste team have added to this game, like in post-launch and this kind of support. One of the things is a PvP guide in Sparta. And actually, while we wait for Eery, maybe I'll just show it. I'm going to go to my in-game scene here, and I'll go to Sparta. And this actually helped me a ton, right? Because I just started playing again recently after many, many years, and I was just like, oh, well, I forgot what I'm doing, How do I open? What's the meta? Yeah, exactly. So I was going to show the PvP guide, which is right here, right? So Sparta PvP is where you go to play ranked online. You click on Sparta and you click on the PvP guide, and there's a big guide of like, if you're very new to the game, right? Like fundamentals, make villagers, spend your resources, kind of easy, medium, advanced tips, right? But the thing that helped me the most, if you click on this hammer, these are build orders. So, if you know RTS, like your build order and your first like couple minutes of the game make or break you for the rest of the game. If you open poorly, it's going to be extremely hard to win. It's just like kind of one of those unforgiving parts of real-time strategy. So, and especially when you're playing with a player pool of like good players, like the people that play this game are good. You're not going to get a lot of bad players. Like you gotta open competitively, right? So these are 3 builds that won't do you wrong. Like we're gonna see these 3 builds the entire tournament with very little variance. Barracks first, spearman rush into town center. Building a town center first, and if there's a water map, dock, right? Like some maps kind of like have sort of unique openings that vary slightly from this, but like this is pretty much what you do at the start of a game. If there's like a wildly different meta, none of the top players have found it yet. So if you wanna start playing, but you don't know where to start, go to this PvP guide. There's like I wish this was in the base game, right? Like back when Age Online was officially supported. Like this kind of info for new players is so invaluable. So one of the awesome things about Celeste, and if you're new and you want to try PvP, start there.
Still love that your Persian name of this PF2K.
Absolutely, have to pay homage. PF2K, Kevsoft, Andy Pierce. I'm trying to remember the names of some of the other devs. I think Happy Smurf, but like everybody associated with that. With this project, like if you guys ever open a game studio, you give me a call, follow you into battle. Just like amazing support, so much cool stuff. This new arena,
it's crazy too. Like I think you mentioned it, where you got the list of people that you remember from back in the day, and how many of them are still playing now. That's really awesome.
Oh yeah, it's retained a crazy amount of players. Like it's wonderful. Yeah, sorry, folks, we're still just waiting for Eery, by the way. So we're just chilling. We're just killing time. Oh wait, we got another donation on
here we go.
Venmo. So let me add this manually here. My roundabout setup.
Somebody's gonna give $9.99.
Sorry. I'm trying to go to it so I could type it in. I'm slow. And my phone couldn't be going slower. Come on, Venmo, please. Oh my god, where did it go? I'm sorry. maybe I just don't know how to use my phone.
We're just building anticipation here.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm typing it in. I don't think there's any way to like hook up Venmo or Cash App like there is for Streamlabs. So this is my roundabout. Oh my gosh, I can't type.
Anticipation's killing me. Here we go. What is it gonna be?
Here we go. Sorry that took so long. Land of Viking. Thank you very, very much for that $15 donation. Thanks for the tournament. Happy to see the community still active after all these years. Me too. You know, I have no idea how much it warms my heart. And with that, folks, as soon as this refreshes, I think that's going to put us over 500 bucks. Right? Yeah, there it is, 505. That's a look at the prizes now. 253 for first place.
This is a mini Romans tournament.
It's crazy.
It's quite a thing.
Crazy. So thank you very much, Lambda Viking. Appreciate that, and I share your sentiment big time. Okay, Eery's back.
Let's do this. He's well rested. His hands were on fire. He had to just ice them off. So he's coming back.
And I don't think we said earlier, but by the way, this is going to be a Persia versus Egypt match. And we are going to equal footing.
So did Optimal's going Egypt then?
Optimal is going Egypt, yeah.
Okay.
Versus Eery's Persia. Did I do this right? Yep. All right, guys. We ready? Thank you for the follow, Darth Ogon.
Name is so creative.
Love that. Okay, connection gods. Bless us with your light. And sorry, guys, I've been doing a bad job keeping up with the chat because I'm trying to bounce around scenes and stuff, but
99.
Thank you all for turning in. Oh, here we go.
99.
It worked.
We're jumping in on equal footing. We were talking about last game how it was so hard for Optimal to play against all of those different raids. This map is going to be different, hopefully. Should be easy enough for him to wall off where he needs to.
Up in the north. Game 2, right? Yeah, game 2 of our second round of 8 series. Eery versus OptimalAcorn up north. Our yellow Persian player, also with the homage to PF2K. I love to see it.
I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
And Barracks going down, and Great Hunt behind his base. That's a nice setup. That's about as good as you can ask for on equal footing. Trees nice and close to your town center too. Gotta love it. Down south, Egypt. I love seeing so much Egypt so far. Very fun to watch. He is down 0-1. And he's got to win this one. It's a best of 3. Can go 2 and out. A red Egyptian player, OptimalAcorn, who is also building a barracks. And also has a hunt behind his base. So very nice for both of them.
Yeah. That means that because there's nothing exposed for either player, it's going to be Eery who will be able to take the advantage with that Sparabara push because of the pierce damage. But he is dropping some villagers and some villager time because he focuses so much on that production. So we'll see. We'll see what whether or not Eery decides to actually push into the base of Optimal. I don't think Optimal will ever do that, given how weak Egyptian Spearmen are. But
can't.
We'll see.
So, you know, I was talking about earlier, like I've been watching a lot of Eery lately, just keep catching him on stream, and he's been looking so good. Most of the time that I've watched him, he's been Persia, and just about every single time, he has like mega Sparabara rushed, as in like he starts making Sparabara and he does not stop. And I love this because early game, you know, other than and this is especially true in this matchup, right? Early game, the only defense against, these early game units obviously is like your own spearmen, right? And in this case, against an Egyptian player, you mentioned this, Egyptian spearmen are just trash, right? Like, they have a place when they get their champion upgrade and they don't cost any gold, like that's kind of like a unique, then they suddenly have a utility. But early game, like, the thing that the Egyptian player wants to do the least, like what they beg not to do, is build spearmen, but he's gonna have to. And meanwhile, Sparabara are just like so good. And my point was like the only defense against this is the town center, right? But like, look at how slowly that damage or that health is going down that Sparabara, because Sparabara have so much pierce resist. So like, unlike 40. And unlike Egyptian spearmen, they wouldn't last 2 seconds under a town center, right? But like, Eery and these Sparabara can fight under a town center all day, especially en masse. So what I expect to see, and what has been working for him so well lately that I've been watching, is he just continues nonstop making Sparabara, like heavy invest, and like continues to make. And according to the production queue, it looks like he's gonna try that. But I just seen him make him nonstop. And he's able to cancel second town center placement, deny production facilities from going up. Like, they're hard to stop. Now, Egypt is also lucky. Like, I think what Optimal is going to want to do to defend against this the best is like age up as fast as possible, so he can build
That's
Axemen.
the goal.
Yeah, like that's really the only thing he can do to defend against this. Camels aren't going to do much, Slingers certainly aren't. Like, that would be the worst possible thing to make given the pierce resist of the Sparabara. So yeah, it's really he's just got to get Axemen out.
Yep. And he's just lacking a little bit more wood before he's able to drop down the temple. But
ooh, yeah, late, a little bit late. Well, actually, I don't know that. That's not true. I have no idea on the timing.
I think both players are playing really well. Actually, neither is in any advantage over the other. Mm-hmm. As long as Eery doesn't pick off that temple.
Yeah. 11 Sparabara, and they're starting to split. So this Eery is just like so good at this, right? Like, mechanically, it's got all the APM in the world of these different control groups of raiding units, and even just a small cluster of these Sparabara. Like, the one thing that they don't do is like they don't do a ton of damage, but they live like with each hit, but they live long enough too,
Well, like, I think Egypt has like 100 and some odd health points, and Sparabara are just like double that.
Yeah, 240.
So, like, they don't even have to do that much. They don't even have to do that much damage. They just sit there. They don't care. 240
and 40% pierce armor. They also have, actually, I didn't even know this, they also have 30% infantry armor. So they even tank, I mean, Axemen are still going to counter them, but they even tank Axemen shots pretty decently. And Optimal is responding to this the way that we thought, right? He's building Axemen, and that's kind of all that Eery can do with these Sparabara.
He should be fine as long as Eery doesn't start plopping down on some massive auras yet.
Yeah.
But he's getting second town center up very shortly. He should be dropping it very shortly. I don't know what's taking him. He
put it somewhere. Necessary. Where did he put it? Oh, it's in the back. On his back gold. So he's being very conservative with it. So, I talked up, like I was so sure Eery was going to just have this like huge mountain of Sparabara like I've been watching, but he wasn't really able to get anything done. Which, credit to OptimalAcorn. He responded the correct way, right? You got those Axemen out. It's really not much more that Eery could do at that point.
Yeah, and I think it's also helpful that on equal footing you have that hunt in the back.
Yes, for sure. And that you're totally right. I forgot about that. That plays a huge role in equal footing, and sometimes you get lucky and you get a very safe hunt in the back, right? Like, that's so much distance and you have to go around trees to get to it. But sometimes you don't have that, and the hunt is way out in front. And if that was the case, then we might have seen either of these rushes do a lot more damage, right? But like, if where I'm selecting, sometimes the hunt's way out here. Like, look at how much easier that is to hit than going all the way back through the town center to hit, the hunt in the back. It's just kind of, that's how it goes sometimes. That's the beauty of age random map settings.
Optimal building a second town center on the actual hunt to protect it.
Interesting.
So that's interesting as well.
Yeah.
No gold, no nothing, but on the hunt. So it's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
And then he can build his market all the way in the back corner, like at the bottom of his base. But we'll see.
I love how aggressive Optimal is being with these Axemen, and Eery seeing it just in time. Great map vision, because he passed just outside of his vision with his Axemen, but very cool pickup. Oh, he's not going to get the storehouse, but he does have yeah, he has an escape route. But the Bowman, the Bowman might be able to pick off a couple of these. But I think that was a cool move, because Eery was just about to push out, it looked like.
And he gets lots of vision too. He knows what his opponent's doing, right? Getting some Bowman, so he needs to be prepared for that. Switching to camels, which is good. There's no spearman on the. Oh, there is one. Oh,
there is, and there's actually 6 spearmen out for Eery. And remember, oh my God, look at how sick they look too. Wow. Remember, Persian spearmen are like final boss spearmen, so they're the only spearmen in the game that they actually build in Age 2. Because the Asparabara is Persia's Age 1 unit. So Persian spearmen are like so good. Like, look at that bonus to cav, 3.5. They're beefy too, 240 health. Spearman Champion makes them really beastly too. So yeah, even just a small number of these Persian spearmen are going to make short work of camel. So it's going to be on Optimal to just make sure that they don't get snared by any spearmen, because they likely won't get out of that alive.
But he's keeping Eery off of these hunts. That's good.
Yeah.
Even with 3, I'm liking that he's actually pushing in, and he's not just pushing into the middle of the base. He's doing what he needs to do to throw Eery off his game. Actually, this might be a good time to talk. Eery looks like he's down in score. Do you know what is all about what goes into score and what really matters to show in score?
I also want to put out, look at how low his resources are right now. He's spending them so efficiently. And I bet PF2K and that team knows a little bit better. I know it's like surplus resources and population and like, I think like the total value of stuff that you've built. But I personally, and I like that you break this up. I think it's interesting to talk about. Like, I'm curious what the chat thinks. Like, I don't put a significant amount of stock in the score, especially right now when it's relatively even, or even if it's like not so even, right? If it's like overwhelming, like 50% or more, it's usually like, okay, yeah. But if it's even close a little bit, like, I don't put much stock into it. And I think this is.
Oh my God, we missed it. Sorry, pause. Optimal going Age 3 already. He's already Age 3.
Wow, he snuck that, and he's getting Camel Champion and Chariot Archers. Okay, yeah, we could revisit the score. That is very nice for Optimal. Like, if he's able to stabilize here, like, he's gonna have such a mobile raiding army. But I think the problem is Persia's H2 army is kind of like Greek, right? Where it's very good, just like a 1-1-1 build of decent pop. Like, it's very, very scary. So the difference between ages isn't like a significant factor here, and lots and lots of spearmen out on the field. So these camels aren't going to be able to do much at all. Let me just say this.
No, they actually got the range Camel Champion, so they're trying to get a flank on the Bowman.
Oh, very nice.
Smart to wait for that by Optimal.
Oh, and he's got to get the Chariot Archers in the fight here. That's so much DPS that isn't being used. There we go. If he can, like, this is like such an intense micro situation where I think he's going to probably want to try to pick off some of the spearmen with the Chariot Archers to give his camels free reign to get on the Bowman, but like, it's this dance, right, where you're trying to keep the counter units off the counter units.
Yes.
And if Optimal's able to hold this, it's going to be really nice for him with his big tech advantage. But like, I think that's a big if right now. He did a good job building a Sim City.
Production facility.
Yeah, because he just got a stable sniped. This is scary.
Is he trying to raid? Is Optimal in the back there trying to pick off the units that are coming in?
He's gotta. I mean, I think that would be a good idea. Like, he's got to do something to get Eery off of his front doorstep. Like, send those camels in. But maybe it looks like he's being very conservative and keeping them around for defense, which is probably a good idea because Eery doesn't look like he's going home.
No.
And
just streaming more units in across the map.
Yeah, and this is like a pretty nice chunk of a second army over here. He's going to try to get some free villagers. Fortunately for Optimal, he's not gathering over there really.
That Bowman there just sitting near the gold, like, Eery is just so good with his vision. Yeah,
that's such good play and really good game sense. Like, this is about where your opponent is going to need to get on is like go outside of his base for gold, like his immediate first and second gold. So like just having vision of that third gold and knowing when to go hit it immediately, like he is, and he's actually picking up I think he's going to get all of the villagers here because Optimal isn't reacting. Like, that's a huge play because he's denying him gold as well. Like, look, Optimal is fortunate that he was floating gold. He's starting to spend it, but he has 0 gold gatherers. So this is like just a critical time to raid that.
I think Optimal just slipped the needle through both of the armies of Eery, and he's sending like a huge wave of villagers over to a far gold mine. So he should be able to be fine in a couple minutes there, but chariot archers cost a ton of gold. Oh, never mind.
They really do.
Gold, but
I'm like scared for Optimal, but like at the same time, like he's got a lot of DPS in this army. The problem is it's just like kind of hard. The spearmen make this like all the camels just melted. Like that's a lot of DPS in the chariot archers. Like he had 16. That's a really good number.
Oh no! Run!
Oh no! Optimal. I think it might have just thrown it here with the positioning. Yeah, that's such a tough micro situation because he's got to get the chariot archers on the spearmen and the camels on the bowmen, but like in just a straight up clash, this Persian army is so strong. GG's, dang, that was close. Eery, like I think he pushed at like he could not have pushed at a more perfect time. I think like when Optimal hit age 3, like I didn't even see it, but you called it. He got to age 3. He was like just starting to get camel champion, just getting chariot archers. Like if he had 2 minutes,
really well positioned. Yes.
Oh yeah, like 2 minutes, maybe less, just to get a bit more chariot archers, like just a bit more DPS and some of those critical techs to finish. Like this is a totally different game. It's probably still going right, but that timing
too, like that pickup on the villagers on gold, right? That's the reason why Optima had to really leave. Like
you're right.
Resign. Like what a great heads up play by Eery there.
It's absolutely perfect. Smart. And you know, it like walls. You know, if you're not going to sit your own army over on your third, which isn't a bad idea. I guess in this case he couldn't have because Eery was clearly on his front doorstep. But if he wasn't, like it's not a bad idea to have your army or a chunk of your army over near your third gold. If you're not going to build walls, otherwise, like like having a wall right here saves him, right? Or at least like buys him enough time to get his army over there to defend.
I use walls almost like an alarm system. Like, oh, they're coming through the back door.
Exactly.
Like, okay, I might as well move. I might move my army here. Hopefully, I'll move it.
And if you have excess stone to build layers, which you probably don't at this point in the game, but you know, in a few minutes you might. Like you're buying a ton of time. Yeah. So quick look at the stats. I think pretty close game. Eery outgathered him a bit. That's probably a bit skewed, but the last couple of minutes with those big villager losses. Tech's pretty even too. I don't even know if we saw any armories go down. That was a great game. Great series.
Yeah.
Eery's a beast, but like, obviously a beast, played so well, but Optimal gave him a run for his money. For sure.
Yeah.
Optimal played crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good work. Good job, Eery.
Moving to the second round. Going to be playing against the winner of Hoover and Striker, right?
Yes. Let me update the bracket super quick. Let's take a look. So Eery moves on. So we filled out like the two halves of our semis here. So we'll see. Could be an Eery Zerton final. That would be a pretty epic, crazy final, but a lot of good players to get through first.
So, a lot of good players. Give you anxiety playing again? Oh, man. Anxiety versus Striker is going to be a great
I'm excited.
game.
I'm excited for that series.
Oh, man. Only going up from here. And Vahoover, obviously, I cannot write him off. He's been doing excellent. Probably plays extremely well, so I'm hoping he makes a run for it.
I watched a crazy game like Verhoover versus Greeky either yesterday or the day before, and yeah, Verhoover's looking sharp, man. Really sharp. Let me quick check. I'll do the rounds. We'll check. No donations that I see yet. What is the next? Oh, I forgot to record the match history here. Let me quick enter this. I already forgot. Well, that's okay. What is our next series here?
Who's your next co-caster? Who's joining you next?
Giving anxiety versus striker. Who is joining me for this one? Where did I write all this down? I think this is PF2K, right? Yeah, is PF2K still around? And Star, thank you so much, man. That was a pleasure.
Oh, no,
thank you for contributing to the prize pool. That was very, very generous. And thank you for
This was a lot
casting.
of fun, man. Anytime. I'll be watching. Good luck to the rest of the players. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the tournament. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Take care.
Thanks for helping. See ya. All right. Oh, what happened to the music, by the way? Oh, it already went through the playlist. Okay. Well, we'll start at the top, and I'll put it on repeat here. Huge thank you to Star of Night. That was awesome to cast a star. I don't think we had ever casted before. That was great. So our next series is going to be Give You Anxiety versus Striker. So I got Striker Civ. We'll see if Goo is around, but we can take a second here. Oh, you know what? We may have to wait a little bit because I remember that Mark wasn't going to be available until 11:40, right? And then who's after that? Recon versus Verhoover, and they can't go yet because I think we're still waiting for Verhoover. Oh, he can play third, actually. So that's actually great timing. So what about Recon? Recon, are you around? Well, while we're waiting, so I think we're gonna figure out really quickly here what which series we're gonna play next. So hang tight, guys. And Nellie's 84, thanks for the follow.